If you love the stories of expats living in Asia, then Max Chernov might be one of your favorite YouTube channels. Max is the man behind this popular YouTube channel with more than 170,000 subscribers. His story is quite interesting. In this video, I'll tell you how Max, a Russian-born, had a brief love for the West before settling on Singapore, how this globetrotter out of all countries made Singapore his home, and how he became a successful YouTuber. So, now let's start from the beginning. Maxim Chernov was born on August 28, 1984 in Sakhalin, an island in Russia, into a middle-class family to Russian parents. His father is a surgeon and a military personnel. At 2, Max, along with his parents, moved to Vladivostok where they lived for 14 years before moving to Volgograd. Later, Max moved to Moscow on his own after graduating from the university. Now let's take a brief look at his education and career. After completing his schooling from a local Russian school, in 2001, Max joined Volgograd State Technical University to study electrical/electronics engineering. He also did masters in automation of technological processes and productions in manufacturing from this university and graduated in 2006. From 2007 to 2010, he worked as a product manager at Karcher in Russia and the UK. From 2011 to 2013, Max worked as a senior brand manager for Gucci and Escada at Procter & Gamble in Moscow. In February 2013, he founded Perfect SMM, a social media marketing agency and education company. He also published a book in Russian which translates to From Connections to Riches or Modern Networking in Russian. Max was a TV host of the PR and marketing show on World Business Channel before becoming a full-time YouTuber. Thanks to the notion that people in the Western world live better than in Russia, at 21, he left Russia and lived for a year in London, while working at Karcher. But as Max wasn't earning handsomely, he struggled to live in the very expensive London. Then, he returned to Moscow and loved his time in Russia's capital. In 2014, Max's girlfriend, Lena Shloma, was studying MBA at INSEAD, Singapore. So, both of them lived in Singapore for half a year and they loved this country. Since then, Singapore has been his favorite country. Later, he lived in France and Spain for a few months and lived in Ireland for 3.5 years. While living here, he badly missed Singapore and longed to return there. As Max experienced the warm weather of Singapore, he hated the cold weather of Ireland and also felt Singapore to be safer than the European countries. Numerous other things also attracted him towards Singapore like, at the time, he was running his own business and didn't like the relaxed environment of Europe but loved the bustling work culture in Singapore. Also, the income taxes in Singapore were lower in comparison to Europe. Max also felt Singapore to have similar values to his home country, Russia. So, in 2018, he along with Lena moved to Singapore and settled there. Even though he traveled to numerous countries like Japan, India, France, Spain, and Malaysia and lived in Luxembourg and the US, Singapore has been his favorite country. Now, let's take a look at Max's YouTube journey. He started his eponymous Russian YouTube channel on March 22, 2012 and started publishing social media marketing videos to grow his marketing agency business. Currently, Max has 305K subscribers on this channel, but stopped working on it in September 2022. After moving to Singapore, he decided to start a YouTube channel to contribute to the local society by creating content related to Singapore, its local market and community. So, Max started his English channel by the name Max Chernov on August 29, 2020 and published the first video in June 2021. And on July 13, 2021, he published a video titled, Weird Habits I've Adopted Living in Singapore, which became viral. But after publishing a few more videos, Max stopped working on this channel in order to focus on his agency business. He relaunched his Max Chernov channel in October 2022 and started publishing videos again. He also rehired the 4-member team for his channel and went full scale. At the time, he had 5,000 subscribers on the channel. As he started consistently working on his channel, it started picking up pace in March 2023. His many years of experience on working on his Russian channel and managing his agency clients' channels also helped him in the success of his channel. After Max relaunched his channel in 2022, he experimented with various types of content and formats and interviewed a few entrepreneurs in Singapore. After experimenting for around 4 months, he stumbled upon the niche of interviewing the expats. One of his videos titled, Pros and Cons of Moving to Singapore for American, performed relatively well and thanks to this, He found the niche of interviewing expats in Singapore and continued publishing interview videos which have been performing well. Max also interviews Singaporeans and expats in other countries like India and Malaysia. He earns from ads and sponsorships and also sells the 12-month Side Hustle YouTube Mastery Program. In addition to his channel, Max also operates Perfect SMM from Singapore. He lives in Singapore and is married to Lena Shloma and has 2 daughters. Now that I've finished telling you his story, here are a few tidbits about him. Max discovered Spikeball while in Singapore and loves playing it. He grew up listening to Limp Bizkit and Rammstein and watching Hollywood movies. He loves Asian dishes like wet laksa, nasi lemak, and bak kut teh. So, how are you inspired by Max Chernov's success story? Please comment below. If you are into reading, I've also written his story on my website, which I'm linking in this video's description. If you love this story, I'm confident that you'll also love more success stories of your favorite YouTubers. So, make sure to subscribe to my channel.